Hello and welcome to podcast 364, 5-star potential, your weekly football manager podcast. I'm Doop, and on this week's pod, it is another 5-star dynamic duo as I am joined by Paul, aka Mr. MaddFM. How are you, Madd? Are you okay?
Just the two of, we're doing a lot of two-man pods these days. We're having a lot of, little speed dates with each other.
It's holiday season, isn't it? It is holiday season. We're all very busy, of course. Dave's
in a fancy pants tent, something or other.
Basically. I think he's basically in a tent with a bit of power. So I don't think not that he's the dominant one. She's probably the dominant one over Dave, to be fair. I meant power is in electricity.
wouldn't be hard.
No, it probably is hard for him. Anyway, I'm going to move on very quickly. So on this week's pod, we are going to be diving into both of our save updates, seeing as we're both live this week and had very mixed fortunes across our adventures at Cirencester and at South Shields, which is very easy to say for you as well, probably. And actually, we're we're the bookends of the Football League at the moment, which is quite nice. And seeing as we're on a roll with quizzes, I've even let Madd do a quiz tonight. So
I even like how I'm on the left today on the screen. It's going to look like I'm the host. I'm loving this. Dave won't like this now, but
Dave's going to have to edit this madly. So it means we've got to do a new. Do you know? I've actually just realised that we have to now do extra work. So thank you for that, mate. I'm glad.
I only just realised.
Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to have a good old catch up, me and Madd. And basically put to the side that people think that we don't get on, but actually we do. We met in, we've met a few times. We met recently. I didn't want to share a hotel room with you, to be fair, but
it's fair. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no.
Although, as you can see, the way you dress, you seem to blend in with the walls. So I wouldn't even know you were there. Stay very still.
I thought you were talking about my wood effect color of tan, but anyway, we'll move on. As my wife called me David Dickinson the other day. What's been happening? Are you okay? Are you well? Are you good? I mean, we had a little FaceTime on the sofa earlier, so you seemed quite happy folding your clothes. Everything good?
Yeah, Dupe called me and I was folding towels. It was a very exciting Saturday in my household.
But the best.
Excuse me, not too bad. From a football perspective, been watching a couple of Newcastle friendlies because they're in Japan, which is, it's nice to see Newcastle doing big club things, because if you rewind about 5 years ago, the furthest they were traveling was, to be fair, Dublin, which would suit me.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're out in Japan, but they won one match and then they lost the other. So, friendlies be friendlies. But nice to see all the same, even though they're very quiet in the transfers news. Apart from them being linked with Mark Gray, I don't know if you saw that. Big fee as well.
Ornstein tweeted about it, so it's true.
Yeah, if Ornstein tweets it, it's good. So happy with that. And you remember a few weeks ago, actually, one of my winners of the week was Newcastle were linked with signing a young Irish player from Blackburn. He was only 16. Fabrizio Romano tweeted that out about 2 days ago. But now today, another rumour is doing the rounds that we've signed another young Irish player who's actually from Galway United, which is a club that's about 10 minutes from where I live. So. And that's where Alex Murphy came from, who's on the books at Newcastle now. So that would make it 5 young Irish players at Newcastle. So, yeah, that makes me happy and more inclined to lean towards Newcastle for FM25, at least for a beta save. So let's see if there is even a beta for FM25.
You mentioned about, what's the reported fee? How much is they saying he's going for?
For Mark Gray?
Yeah.
I thought I saw 60. Yeah, I also heard that he has a release clause. I'm not sure, but I thought I saw 60.
Not
but
bad
you don't
for
know until
24
these things
though,
are
right?
confirmed.
Not bad
Yeah,
for
and
24.
he had a really good Euros, which definitely adds money on, and he's had a really good season at Palace as well. And I guess, there's other clubs are looking at him and interested, so I think it would be a bit of a coup for Newcastle to get him, especially we don't have Champions League football or anything like that. So let's see.
From what I've seen of him, obviously pre-Euros, because obviously he was very centre-back role, his attributes, his physical attributes, his technical attributes on the ball and all that, it looks like he should probably be suited further up the pitch, like a DM. Technically on the ball, apart from the one he fucked up against, I can't remember what team it was, but I just feel that, it's a good little signing, to be fair. I would be happy with him at Old Trafford, I'm not going to lie to you. I think
And he can
he's
play on the
quality.
left or the right, which is
Yeah.
kind of, obviously desirable. We've got Sven Botman who's injured, Dan Byrne both play on the left, Lloyd Kelly.
Yeah.
But nice to have a bit of versatility in there. So, I mean, look, as centre backs go, he's as good as you'll find really out there in the market at the moment without
I
going
mean,
crazy.
let's be completely honest. We've seen the price of centre backs at the moment. Jared Braithwaite, Lenny, big Lenny,
Lenny Euro,
Len Dog,
yeah.
Delit.
He picked up another injury.
He's out.
Saw him in a
for 3
boot. He
months.
was in a boot, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's out for 3 months.
Isn't it typical? Like,
do you know what, mate? So we've got a bit of a curse at United with injuries and stuff. And you were talking about Newcastle being. I mean, we're a Football Manager pod. We'll get onto a Football Manager in a second, I promise. We actually have a lot of Football Managers today, so I do apologize. But you were talking about like Newcastle doing big club things in Japan and all that. Like, we have such bad record of being in America and having injuries. Cobby got injured last year. Imagine if Cobby had another 6 months under his belt. Like, how much better, there would be no question marks for him being on the plane for the Euros. Like, he got injured.
he would have
really
started at the
badly
beginning.
Injured. He would have started at the beginning.
Yeah,
absolutely. But that's football, isn't it? So yeah, he's out for 3 months. He's never had an injury. He missed one game with an illness.
Isn't it typical? It's crazy.
Hoyland's out.
We've had the same as well. We've had similar luck with injuries now. So
yeah,
all about it.
Rasmus Hoyland's out. Rashford's is a doubt. We play in about just peek behind the curtains. It's currently 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, and this is what me and Madd are doing. We play Liverpool shortly in a very very short while. And I think Rasmus is out for 6 weeks. Rashford's out. Anthony's out. Like, it's just
you haven't got Liverpool in the opening game, have you? Or have you? Is it?
No,
you've got them in a.
We got a friendly
Fulham,
now.
okay,
We actually play City next week. We're the Community Shield. I'm actually there next Saturday.
Yes,
so yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Actually, that's another winner of the week. I failed to get a ticket originally for the opening game, Newcastle and Southampton.
Yeah.
And I've since managed to get my hands on one.
Fantastic.
So I'm going to the opening game of the season as well, which is cool.
Nice, man. Good. Okay. I'll do my winner of the week. I don't know, actually. Oh, me.
You. Oh, yes. Yes. I wanted to ask you about your tweets. A couple of tweets, actually.
I feel that this. Which ones? Because I got a bit of backlash for a joke I made on holiday, and it's not that one, is it?
No, the ones from your burner account is the ones I was going to ask you about, but maybe we'll leave that for another day.
It's not the one where I talked about cupping. No.
No.
Okay. Well, carry on. Which one are you talking about?
Well, I saw 2 tweets from you. One was about the FA Cup. So you were at an FA Cup game, and it's intriguing, and obviously it's nice because it's like local football, right?
Yeah, just up the road. So 70 days ago today, which is Saturday. We're recording this, like I just said. 70 days ago, I was at Wembley watching the final game of last year's FA Cup, which is pretty cool. And today I was at Cinders Lane, which is home to Fairford Town FC, and they hosted Cirencester Town FC, who is my current Football Manager save, in the opening game of the extra preliminary round of the FA Cup. So one of the first round of the FA Cup. So there was some games last night, but like this is still the first round. So look, shows I'm not just big time. I don't go to the big games all the time. I go to the little ones. Cirencester's last season were in the league above Fairford. They finished just outside the playoffs. Really, unfortunately, they've had a lot of finances cut from the club, and they've actually took voluntary relegation. So they've gone down to the Hellenic level now, which is the same as Fairford. They have released, so the squad I saw today compared to the squad I saw the last game of last season for Cirencester Town, out of the 15-man squad, there's only one player left. Everyone else has disappeared, and they just got beat 7-0 to Fairford Town, who, again, local rivals, very close. Cirencester are cut above them, like, the facilities is so much better than Fairford's, but yeah, they're going to really struggle, and they can't instantly go back up, because if you take voluntary relegation, you have to be in that round, like that area, for two years. in that league
Okay.
before you can go back up. So they're not going to bounce straight back up. So I don't know whether they're just going to kind of sit, save some money, and then go. I mean, the issue they had is they were in the Central, which is an issue I had in the save. You're in the Southern Central Premier Division, and the problem with that division that you're in, you are playing teams. We're in the southwest of England. You're playing teams like Waltham Abbey, top of the M25. You're playing teams like Biggleswade, Biggleswade Town, all round London way. It's a lot of travelling. That money comes out of the club's purses. You know what I mean? Now they've dropped down. Yes, they're going to save a lot more money because they're not paying any players because all the players have disappeared. Your revenue is going to go down because you're not getting so many through the gate. The costs or the ticket prices go down as well, I believe, because they're set by the league. But unfortunately, you know, it's going to take a lot to get out of that division for them because, yeah, it's going to be really tough.
It's
so
a struggle. Well, it's a struggle, right? You're very, very limited playing pool, very, very limited funds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is what it is at that level, There's probably, you hear all this talk about how bigger leagues, teams, FA pumping money into grassroots football, but are they really?
Well, I mean, it is. It's tragic for the club, for the area, for the town, to be fair. Like, we're not a big footballing town, because it's not a massive team, but they still get a couple of hundred people go every week to watch. I'm going up on Tuesday, and I'd like to see just how many people go up and watch. But it's a shame. It's a real shame. Obviously, this year I've probably been as close as I've ever been to that club because of the football manager stuff, the interaction.
Were you there? Did you have a sign? Did you go there and make a sign and say, "Oh, I brought Cirencester to the Premier League and the Champions League"?
I tell you what, looking at that performance, they might actually give me a job at the end of this. But it is sad. It is sad. So there's my winner and my loser of the week. My loser of the week is probably Cirencester Town. It's a shame, and it probably would have meant that actually being Siren Town next season in the save would have been fucking a lot better. It would have been a lot harder.
You still can.
And no, I'm not doing it again.
with a Regionaire, just make it truly.
We don't make any quality down in Southwest, mate. Trust me. But yeah, that was one of the tweets. I'm assuming you're referencing my other tweet, which is that I'm now participating in a charity walk for British Heart Foundation.
Yes.
So as many know, and I bleat on it about it, and we make jokes to try and hide the fact that I'm struggling about it. But it's been over 18 months ago that I lost my brother. He passed away of a sudden heart attack. Rocked my family, brutalized my mum and dad, to be fair. And I did a walk last year, the Cotswold Way walk, which is 100 kilometers, but it was an incline change of about 400 meters. 4,000 meters, which is a lot of meters. And I struggled with the temperature and all that jazz. And I got pulled medically at 63 kilometers. So just over half, nearly 2/3 of the way. This one is along the Thames, out from central London out to Henley on Thames. So if you are, it's I think it's 14th of September to 15th. I got like the whole weekend to do it. If anyone is in that area and they want to have a little look at the Thames Path Challenge, and you see me, say hello. But we are raising money, and the link will be in the description. It's a Just Giving page for British Heart Foundation, and like I said, through the Just Giving, 100% of that goes to them. And I kind of want to. I've got the team talk ready. I'm gonna let the start line. We want to avenge what happened last year. You know what I mean?
Fair, yeah.
And it's tough, and obviously mental health is a massive thing that we talk about in the community. I might put a brave face on things, and I may laugh and I may joke, and obviously me and Madd's been through something very similar together in the recent years, recent months probably, right? And something, I've tried a few things to try and help my mental health with it. And one thing I will say as well is literally next Wednesday, I have another therapy session to start therapy again, because it's something that I am struggling with, and I don't have a massive platform to speak about things. But I do feel that it's got really serious, doesn't it? I do feel that whilst we're talking about this is a really good platform for me to say that it's okay to kind of get help and to go and see. So if you are at home and you are listening to this in the car and listening to this, and you've had a pretty crap few years for whatever reason, few months for whatever reason, reach out, speak to people. Like, speak to me, drop me a DM. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I can definitely help you the way, send you the right way to go. I had one set of therapy and it struggled, and I couldn't do it. And I thought, to be fair, as a normal bloke, I'd just go, well, I tried. If anyone asked me, I went through it, I tried, and I've decided to try it again. So, it's good to keep talking.
Fair play, like, and it's good to with the walk as well. It's meaningful. You're not just doing it for charity out of the kindness of your heart. Obviously, you are, but
well.
It's and it means something too with your brother, And like you said, I mean, we're not going to turn this into one of the old social pods we used to do, but
oh fucking hell!
The same way you lost your brother, I lost mine. We're looking at about 10 months ago. I can't believe how long's passed. I lost my brother to cancer. He's 2 years older than me, 3 kids below the age of 10. Insane. So I can only say I know how it feels, and to those people out there as well. Yeah, it's life can be shit. But talking and doing things like this are the way forward. And I've just donated to you while we're live recording.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's very kind of you. You don't all have to donate as much as big man Madden. He earns the big bucks now.
the man who has no job at the moment.
Charity starts at home, Matt. Charity starts at home. But no, it's like I said, we're obviously going to get into the Football Manager stuff, and it is quite deep. But we don't often get an occasion where it is just me and Mad, and it is quite. We've been through something very similar, very, very close together, and actually both stories are a little bit different. But, like I said, Matt talks about his brother having 3 kids under the age of 10. My brother had 3 kids under the age of 10. Not that we're playing top trumps, but it is scary how these things happen. And, it's so good to talk. And probably I'll be honest, me and Matt probably don't talk about it enough together, seeing as we've both been through something so similar. So maybe we should. Maybe we should meet up for a pint and talk about it, dude.
Pints on you because I just donated to your walk.
I'll pay, but you've got to fly over.
Great. To be fair, like my Ryanair flight is probably going to be less than what I just donated. So.
To be fair, it's probably going to be less than the pint I pay in London, to be honest.
In fact.
That is probably not far off the truth. Anyway, should we talk Football Manager?
Yes.
What I will also just add to that last little segment, all the links down below if you want to donate, obviously, even just a bit of love and support, even a tweet, whatever, just dropping in the stream saying good luck, whatever, that's cool. I am hopefully going to try and live stream some of it because the signal should be good. When I was in the Cotswold Way, I couldn't live stream it because the signal was terrible, but I'm central London where we should have signal, so I'm going to try and do that. So go and follow all that jazz. But also all the links for all the help sites, all the help charities. If anyone needs any help, it is all down below. Right, Mad, let's talk Football Manager because apparently I've heard you need a little bit of help. So I'm here to help, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of only have myself to blame in a way.
Because you did a regionette. That's the reason.
Well, let's go to the top. At the very top level, I'm not very good at Football Manager.
There is that.
Then we move down to the fact that I choose really, really difficult saves. Then we move down that I decided for this one I'd only really do it live. Then we moved down that I wasn't able to go live for a few weeks, and end result I actually just hadn't played the game in it must be 3 to 4 weeks. Now I was in France, I was kind of traveling. I've been playing a lot of football matches. We have a summer league, so I just hadn't really found that. You want that kind of 4 or 5 hour block. I just hadn't really found it, and anytime I did have it, I was kind of hungover because I've been in the pub during the summer, etc.
Love it.
So I'll tell you what happened this week. And another winner of the week, I listened to a podcast with yourself and Dave, the one you guys recorded last week. Okay. And you obviously, 2 of you did bumper save updates. If anyone's missed it, have a look back. And sometimes when you listen to people talking about their saves, and I often do this as well, I might read a blog or watch a YouTube video of Football Manager, it kind of just gives you the itch. And yeah, midweek, I kind of was like, after I listened to that pod, I was actually out and about, and I was like, okay, when I get home, I really want to play some Football Manager now. So it was almost kind of a getting back on the horse stream for Football Manager, FM24, and for the save, because as many of the listeners might remember, I was doing the save at South Shields. Haven't talked about it on the pod for a while because, as I said, I hadn't been playing it. And man, it's so tough. Like managing at this level, we talked about this before, it's the first time I've managed at this level. This is Tier 6, South Shields. I'm in Season 2. We didn't get promoted in the first season. It was a bit of a kick in the teeth. Had a complete squad rebuild with no money. And of course, we can only sign players who were born and raised in the northeast of England as per the Regionaire rules. So lots of twists and turns and lots of challenges as to what makes this save so hard. So, okay, so when I picked up the save again, and when we went live, I went live last Wednesday maybe. I was sitting in 7th in the league, which is just the last line or the last position in the playoff spots. So that from 2 to 7 go into a playoff basically, and the league winner gets promoted. So it's really tough to get out of it. We'd had a really dodgy kind of run before that. I'd won 1 game in 5. So I was thinking, okay, maybe after a month, the luck modifier will have done its thing, or maybe after a month, I might just get a bit lucky myself. I'll tell you what happened in the first stage, Doop. You might have been there. I saw you were lurking at one point, but we played Darlington, who were our local rival, in the opening game of that stream. So this is in December 2024, where I was 7th in the league.
Where we
at
just
home.
got scored.
We won 6-0.
Yes, yeah,
I was. You did, because it was the first game. I was 5-0 up at halftime, and I was like, "Here we go, we are back." And you remember we spoke about the new gen I had in the team, Stephen Howell, who's now 16. Really, really good, like prospect, really good for this level. I assume we will lose him at some point. He's got just got a lot of double digits in a lot of good places, like first touch and passing and composure and anticipation, even pace. You know, he's off the ball all anywhere between kind of 11 and 14. So he's really, really good. He's 16 now, and now, granted, he's taken a couple of penalties for me. I think 2. Yeah, I can see it here, 2. 8 goals in 18 starts so far in the save. For a 16-year-old, he kind of plays off the right. He's a left footer, so he kind of inverts and kind of cuts inside. So wonderful times, Dupe. 6-0 up in the first game of the live stream. There's no stopping us, right? Wrong. We went to play Spennymoor, another local rival in the northeast. Played them away from home. We scored no goals, and they scored 1 goal in the 41st minute. I didn't have any player score above, I think the highest rating was a 6.8 or 9. Played absolutely crap. 2 strikers up front, both terrible. We lost 1-0. So very quickly brought back down to earth. Well, interesting, actually. I just mentioned we played 2 of the northeast teams. So when I was 7th, within that top 7, there was ourselves, Darlington, Spennymoor, and Blythe Spartans. So 4 of the top 7, all northeast teams. So something's going right in the northeast, but it isn't me. Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Not for me.
So yes, that kind of rocked it a bit. We then played Chorley in the league again. We've been knocked out of all the cups, by the way. That's how shit I am, and that's how poorly things are going. 2-2 draw with Chorley. It wasn't a great game. We were probably lucky enough. Our boy Stephen Howell actually missed a penalty. It was wild. I don't know if you saw this one. He took a penalty. I thought it hit the crossbar, but I think the keeper must have saved it because he scored the rebound. And I've never seen that in Football Manager in the match engine. So he smashed a penalty. I thought it hit the post or the bar. Looked like it hit the very top corner. Watched it back. It still kind of looked like it did. Well, I think the keeper got a hand to it because I'm pretty sure he had to.
You can't touch it straight after. So yeah, the keeper has to make contact.
Yeah, exactly. And somebody said that in the stream as well in the chat. Yeah. So I hadn't seen that animation before, so that was kind of cool. So 2-2, fine, you take it. Chorley were also within the kind of top 7, top 8. It's neck and neck. There's like 3 points between 7th and 12th, 13th. It's crazy how tight the league is. We then had a nice 3-1 win against Peterborough Sports. So I was like, okay, back on we go. Was happy they went down to 10 men, which helped. And then as the stream came, well, as the night progressed on, Dupe, we then went away to Banbury United and lost 1-0. Barely had a shot on target. It was pathetic. And then we went and played Southport at home. And again, this is a mid-table team. We should have smashed these on paper. Played absolutely diabolical. And again, in a 4-4-2, because we reverted to a 4-4-2 a couple of months ago in the save because things were going bad. There's 2 strikers again were so shit. So, you know, within that run, we played 6 games. We won 2, drew 1, and lost 3, which brought us back to 9th due to other results in the league. So it's just all over. The save is all over the place. But the biggest problem I have, we were talking a lot about it. I've just not got a striker who is good enough to carry me through this league. And no matter what I've done, I just can't get one. I just don't have funds, or the players don't have the interest. I've tried to loan almost every player out of Sunderland who are an affiliate. They either say no, or the player says no. Or Middlesbrough, same problem. They don't want to loan players to us. Quality of player, yada yada yada. So it's really, really tough. And as we finished up the stream, I suppose that the last update was, it's quite possible we might take that new gen 16 and put them up front, because do you know what? I got no other choice and nothing else to do. So yeah, that's the save update for now. Obviously, it was just live. Great to be back playing it. I do have the itch again, which is nice, because you don't play FM for a few weeks. I think we all get there at some point in the cycle. That's where I was. It's nice to have it back. So I should be live again next week. Fingers crossed.
That'd be good to see. I mean, it is tough, and I mean, it is tough at that level. But you've only got yourself to fucking blame. To be fair, mate. Like, it's not like you've made it tremendously hard. But I get it. Like, we'll talk about mine in a minute, and I'll talk about my season a bit more in depth, because I kind of glossed over a few things with Dave, because we kind of got to the final game and did it. But top goal scorer for me, I've just not found somebody that can put the ball in the back of the net. When I scroll over now the Premier League top goal scorers for last season, I don't have a single player in that list, in that top 20.
You kind of need to, like, especially in Football Manager. You just
in 20th is a chap that got 11 goals.
Fuck.
And my best outing for a striker was my left winger, who got 9 goals. Okay, there was a couple of wingers that got 9 goals. There's a couple of strikers that got 9 goals, but not enough, is it? You know what I mean? And we were so close to winning that title.
Unless you have like 8 players who are scoring between 9 and 11 each, you know what I mean? But that's not
I
sustainable.
need somebody to put the ball in the back of the net, and I spent a lot of money on a chap to do that, and it didn't happen. So painful. But no, it's always good to see you live. I'll be honest. It helps my insomnia, so it's really good.
Things were going so well.
It's only a joke. I'm joking. But yeah, man, awesome. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into mine, if you don't mind.
Do it.
I'm sure you want to hear how we're getting on. And
I did listen. To that game. I was devastated on your behalf with the outcome of that game. So tragic between your game and Spurs. Spurs were playing Newcastle, right? So yeah, I was very upset for you. I wasn't skipping around the kitchen, and if it was actually live, I would have FaceTimed you the way you FaceTimed me the time I got sacked live on streams.
But getting sacked and narrowly missing out on the Premier League title for my first
exact same thing. Everybody knows. Okay, continue.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm currently on the 16th of July, which is not in the football season, as you probably know, but it is in pre-season, and we have had some movement. So the board gave me £20 million to spend, which was lovely of them. Thank you very much, board. They also pumped a lot of money in because we've just had our new stadium commissioned and now open. Well, it's not open yet. It opens in 3 days' time, where we play a team to open said stadium. Now, you weren't in the stream, so you don't know. It was late last night. So I'll let you off. I was in yours, but it's fine. Who have I picked? Which team have I picked on the 19th of July, 2036, to play in our opening game, to open said stadium? I mean, it's quite easy.
Dare we ask? Who you picked? Man United?
No.
Not fair. Not that team that just beat them in real life.
No. Palermo. Obviously, I have a lot of narrative with Palermo.
Yes.
So we have our opening game is Palermo, followed by Barcelona. We've gone from a 7,500 seater stadium to a 27,968. You think they would have just rounded it up to 28,000, but yes, 27,968 seater stadium, freshly built. Like I said, looking good. What have they named it, Madd? Would you like to guess?
The Paul Madden. No, definitely not.
I have taken them from the bottom of the bottom all the way to the top. And clearly, they had some financial issues this season, this in the IRL, because of the stuff we'd already discussed. So I've done some great work with them. The club that was founded in 1889.
The
What they named
1889
it?
stadium.
The Cirencester Stadium.
Wowza! How did they come up with that?
I tell you what, it must have been
somebody
tough.
should get a promotion for that job they're doing there now.
It's gotta be tough, right? But we spent a
Where
lot
are you?
of time.
Are you an? We talked. I think we talked about this. Sorry to interrupt. Are you an idol, or are you a favorite person, or an icon, or whatever you want to call it?
I am a legend.
A legend.
A legend. I am.
Still didn't name it after you.
I am higher than the owner of the club. I am higher than the chap that used to have a stand in the ground. It's a bit of a shame that they don't have the ability for them to rename stands after managers and stuff like that, like they do IRL, like the Sir Alex Ferguson stand.
Yeah.
So Bobby, sorry. So we'll see. But we've been working really hard with trying to up our facilities. Our training facilities are now excellent. Our youth facilities are now great. We've got good academy coaching, and we've got excellent youth recruitment. Still yet to see a very good youth intake. That's what I was trying to say. But we are making strides everywhere else. We have now got a massive team of staff behind me. I have the best coaching team in the league. Every single one, every single kind of category is number one, apart from goalkeeper defending, which even though I hover over it, it says we're above average and Manchester United are the best. But apart from that, we're the best in everything else. We're also second in everything else in scouting behind Manchester United, only because they have about 7,052 scouts, I think it is. And then again, in medical, we're very high. So we're doing really well for that. So kind of the infrastructure is there. We've also had some fantastic news in the off-season, Madd. I am now the 8th highest ranked team in the reputation of England. It goes.
So that's very much corrected itself from where you were, right?
It's taken 5 seasons in the Premier League. It's taken 2 seasons in the Champions League. Yeah, but we're close. We're close. So obviously, you've got in the list above me, in no particular order, you've got Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City, Newcastle, and Tottenham. Out of that 7, who's number 1? Who would you say is number 1?
I mean, you normally would have said Man City.
Tottenham.
I heard, but Tottenham were going well in your save.
They beat us in the Premier League. So they've won back-to-back Premier Leagues. You know what else they've also won? The Champions League. They beat Barcelona 1-0 in the Champions League. They lost the FA Cup. I think they lost the FA Cup final the season before. So like they're doing all right. Like fair play to them. They are probably the team to beat at the moment. And it's going to be tough to beat them, but we're going to hopefully beat them. How, I hear you say? But I'm going to do it by selling all of my good players. Cabello is a chap that we brought in at the age of 21 when we first moved into the Premier League. We bought him from Las Palmas. 45 million I paid for him. When we bought him, he was the standout player of our team. He was the first player to spend over 100 grand on a player per week. He played that attack mid. His stats weren't out of this world. I think it was only 40 goals he scored in like 106 games. But every season, over a 7 rating. I can't go wrong with him. Real Madrid, he's got 1 year left of his contract. His head's turned at 25. He's Spanish. He got turned by Real Madrid. They come and got him for 45 million. We got 100% of that into our transfers. Another chap, our big centre-back, 6'6". We brought him in only because he's 6'6". I paid 15 million for him. We got 15 million back again. Back in his last game of the last year of his contract, 29. He wanted to go, and I mean, my scouts think he's absolutely shocking now. I mean, I think all he's got is height, so I can't really complain about that. We also sold a chap called Felix Hackenberg, which actually I'm a bit hacked off about. See what I did there? He's a good defender, but he can play DM very well. A bit like Mark Gabe, to be fair. 24 years of age. I sold him for 40 million. 4 years ago, I bought him for 2.8 million. So that was a really good bit of profit on him. And he's played 31 games. So he's played lots and lots of games for us. We also got rid of Kobe Mainu as well. I only had him for 2 seasons, bought him for £60 million, Madd. I sold him for 12. He was a very good player, very, very good player. He's in his last year of his contract. He doesn't want to sign a new contract. He also, the issue we had with him was I fucked up when I signed his contract, and I gave him the match highest earner clause. And in the 2 seasons since then, we have come on from spending 90 grand a week, and his wages have just rose and rose and rose. And Saudi Arabia come in, and they offered him a contract, and I was just like, do you know what? We got to get rid of him. We got to get rid of him because
what are they paying him? I'd love to know.
110 grand a week.
Oh,
so he is on. He's 31 now. I mean, attributes still very, very good. And like I said, he played very well for us. A 7.8 and a 7.15. You know, he's done well. 34 games in both seasons. Always available. Cannot complain. However, what that does is that brings 155 million in, which is fantastic. There's a couple of other little sales in there, 10 million, 5 million.
100% going into your...
Yep, 100%. We've got 100% transfer budget. Yeah, I've got 120 million in our balance. We are, for a club that's just built a stadium, we are in beautiful category right now. Our projections look beautiful. Our debts look horrendous because we've still got debt for the bank loans and the mortgage loan to pay for the stadium and then pay for the stadium. But the stadium ended up costing us 100 odd million, which we now spend. We have to ship off X amount every single month. But let's look at the positives. We brought in a chap called Cameron Peralta, who is a Aussie, which is probably the first Aussie to ever play for Cirencester Town, which is funny because the left back in IRL actually went to Australia and to play in Australia. So this is the Cabela replacement. Madd, I know people at home, and I can't be bothered to add it. I'll be honest. I'll tweet them all out later, okay, for people to see. So go check out my Twitter. But I just want to show Madd this chap, and I want to see Madd's reaction. So I'm just going to chuck in the Discord as we discuss it. I will obviously tell you guys at home what I'm looking at so you can see. But this is a attack midfielder at 23 years of age. He has 17 technique, 19 finish vision, and 16 passing. His first touch is 18. His decision making 18. Determination 16. Flair 17. Off the ball 16. Anticipation 18. Agility 17. Natural fitness 18. I mean, he is a beautiful player, right?
He's like
elite.
There's a couple
elite
he's
player.
He's 5'9", so if you remove the jumping reach and the heading, which are both below 10 because he's 5'9", fair enough. Everything else is double figures or above. Like it's crazy.
Oh, his long throws. His long throws is shit.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
his hair is also glorious. So check out his Twitter.
He looks gorgeous.
Glorious haircut.
I'll be honest with you. A couple of things I saw on the scout report. Is he thrives playing in big matches, which is amazing. I love that. Consistent performer, love that. I also, you know, he has the ability to spot a pass and create chances underlying the intelligence of his play. I am extremely excited to see this guy play. It's a shame in the match engine I don't get to see his hair flapping behind him.
Which is interesting because his media style is unflappable.
Yeah.
So maybe his hair won't be flapping behind him. His value though, so his value is 69 to 92 million pounds.
How much should I pay for him?
Big question, how much should you pay for him?
Well, one thing you have to notice is I mentioned about Kobe Mainoo and he's on match highest earner. This guy's on 190 grand a week. This is kind of the season where I'm going to win that Champions League, right? I paid 49.5 million pounds for him. And 10 million of that was up front. Okay. I've structured 20 million of it. And then the others were on goals, national caps, and league appearances. All of them were structured into kind of easy achievable, but it was structured at the end of the day. So I paid 10 million pounds up front for him, which could will rise to 31 million. And then it's subject to move up to 49.5 million pounds.
I think he's worth every single penny of it.
Yeah, he is. The other player we need to discuss is a chap that I have available ready right now to purchase, and I'm going to send this to Madd. Is a chap called Leon Chadwick. No relation to Luke Chadwick, who is the GOAT. This is a chap that again is 96 million pounds. We are talking big bucks now. Now, what happened was a lot of teams decided to go in for this centre back that I'm looking at now, and we will describe him in a second. A lot of teams went in for him. Nobody matched his release clause. I matched his release clause. We are looking at a 19-year-old wonder kid. For some reason, his scout report hasn't come through fully, but you can imagine this guy, right? 6'3", right-footed, 16 tackling, 14 heading, 16 jumping reach, aggression of 18, which I bloody love, by the way. His vision of 17.
I was just gonna say vision 17 for a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I would play him as centre back. I would try. I'd get him in and train.
He has to be a centre back. He's aggressive as fuck. He's brave as fuck.
His passing's not slow.
He's actually quite quick.
Yeah. But he's 19, Madd. This guy is going to be the best in the world. He's going to be the best centre back in the world.
2 important facts. 1, media description. Wonder kid. Yes, please. And the second fact, he has a glorious head of bright red ginger hair.
Scalzi.
He'd look great in the match engine.
Proper Scalzi. So he's 96 million, Madd, and that is 96 million pounds up front. We still have a couple of players to get rid of who are out of contract in 6 months, about 12 months' time. It leaves us kind of, we still need to get another DM probably and a right mid. I picked up a chap called a backup to Peralta called Rasmus Ellerman from Copenhagen. I picked him up. The
mayonnaise guy, no?
No.
Elements.
I picked him up from Copenhagen for 10 million quid. I actually picked him up because Jace DeCanio, fond listener of the pod, one of my mods over on Twitch, he said to me, do you mind just sending me your save? Because Celtic are in a mess on my save. He said, I'd love to have a little play around in that. And then he sends me a picture. Literally, he retires me, and then he takes over as Celtic manager with a new manager in my save universe. I was like, I don't want to know much about it, but did we win the league? No. Oh, fuck. Because this was before we had the last game. And he's like, I've got to tell you this guy looks insane for 10 million. And he sent me him, Rasmus Ellerman. We then scouted him. To be fair, our scouts probably would have picked him up anyway. And he looks all right, to be fair. For 10 million quid, he's gone in straight in and valued at 37 million at 19 years of age. All-round good little player. And cheap backup for 10 million. So we are cooking. We're cooking with some gas. I need to find a right midfielder. And like I said earlier, I need to find a striker issue. Solve my striker issue. One thing I did do back in 2034 for 6.5 million, I bought a chap called Raul Guerrero, right? Who a Mexican chap. I bought him in, and attribute wise, it's exquisite. 17 finishing, 16 composure, 14 acceleration, 13 pace. Off the ball was 18, so he's going to get into the runs. He's going to find the space. Intelligent. 19 determination. Great. Heading, 16. Jumping reach, 15. He's 6'3". He's a striker. Mexican. But in the match engine, just pants. Literally really? Pants. Yeah. He's valued at 42 million. I've transfer listed him. There's a lot of players that want him. MLS want him on loan. He went to Orlando City on loan last season because I got fed up with him. He played 20 games for me. He scored 3 goals. And I just got fed up with him. So he went to Orlando. He scored 9 goals in 19 games. And I brought him back because maybe he might be the answer. Because he's a bit stronger, a bit more aggressive to play the guy that's on his own at the top, his lone striker. You go into his match report, everything screams like good. He enjoys big matches, has performed well, really good in the air, determined individual. And then it says cons, good player for most championship sides. And you think, how could a guy with 17 finishing, 16 composure, good physicals, be just okay for like championship? So I don't know.
Like determination or personality or
determination is 19.
I don't get that at all. No, that's weird.
No, to me it screams. He's 22.
He should be ready. Yeah, if he doesn't crack this season, move him on. But he should be ready.
I might even move him on now. To be fair, for 42 million, if I can get 42 million for him, we can pick up some players. But one thing I will say, for the first time this year in this save, I've gone for the media description wonder kid. I've searched every single wonder kid in the game. Every single one wants to join me, which is fantastic news. So, nice. However, I don't think that's kind of. I think we'll pick a couple of them up. There's a couple of cheap ones. But I think kind of the tactic now is just to go out and get the world beaters, try and get that 11 that's going to do the job, and go from there. So I need to decide whether I want to get Chadwick, the centre back / DM, and then get a DM and a right mid, with 60 million quid. So, which is possible. There's one thing I will say is we lost out on Gabriel Fernandez, who is a 6'2", 19-year-old wonder kid from Boca Juniors, centre back. Incredible bravery, incredible aggression, 17 tackling at 19 years of age. I just wanted him. It was 8 million. Activated his release clause because my scouts found him, chucked on him, and then he's going to Tottenham, which is painful, really. Yeah, so we missed out on him, and that's about it, really. Everyone else, we've tipped that scale now. We're getting who we want, which is.
But you're bringing in those actual wonder kids, excuse me, elite style players. Like you're actually, like you're really improving the squad. You could definitely with the players you're bringing in. So
yeah, I mean we are. Like I said, I'll be disappointed if we don't win something this season. We're gonna be
personally. I won't, to be honest.
I think I'm ready to win the Champions League. What I mean by that is like I've kind of changed my way of playing this season. Very much just like
Dave and Reload.
No, I mean I wish, man. I mean like I'm very much just going out to try and win that Champions League. You know, and I don't think we're going to do it. Obviously, it's very, very tough. We came quarterfinals last year, lost both games to Barcelona. The board loved me, like of course they would, but they're asking me now to be top half finish in the 5-year plan, and then next year it's Europa League, Champions League, Champions, and they're getting a bit tighter. You know what I mean? And they're getting a bit angry with me if I'm not getting out results for them, which is mad in theory, right? But then again. You know, tempers time does start running out on people. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if it ends this season, it might be next. If it ends next season, then it might be never, Mad. It might be never.
Twitch.tv/Doop.
So my question to you now, let's say I get semi-finals next year, right? And then I get quarterfinals the year after, right? Knocked out in both of those, yeah? Knocked out in semi, knocked out in quarterfinals. I then say, right, enough's enough. I finished the save. I'm done. Can't be asked, right? We've taken them as far as we've taken them. Have I done better than you've done in Sweden, or did we tie?
I think we should leave it to our lovely listeners to decide, Dupe, don't you? If and when, so there'll be two things. If and when you do that, we'll do it on YouTube in the comments, but we'll also put a poll out on Twitter, and we'll say, this is what Matt did, this is what Dupe did. I think you will win it, to be fair, but let's see. Like, in my opinion, that would be enough, definitely. But we'll let the listeners decide.
There's only one way to find out, mate. On to the quiz.
The quiz. We've been enjoying our transfer market quizzes. To be fair, it's a great website. It's a great website for detail. Other websites are available, but it's great for looking up historical data, details, and lists. So. I said I'd give you a slightly tougher one this week, but I can help you out. This is just so Dave can have something to listen to and enjoy while he's on his holidays, if he has any reception and Wi-Fi down where he's glamping in the woods. We mentioned Lenny Yoro earlier. So when Lenny Yoro moved from Lille to Man United, he became the 10th most expensive teenager in history, according to Transfer Market, for a fee of 62 million euros. So I want to see, can you get the other 9 that are ahead of him? So the most expensive teenagers ever. So they were teenagers at the time they moved for that certain fee. The 9 players that are ahead of him currently. And I will help you out if it is a struggle, because I would struggle with this, I think, as well.
It's trying to remember who has moved.
Who was how old?
So I'm going to guess Kylian Mbappe when he went. Was he still a teenager when he went from Monaco to PSG?
Kylian Mbappe, number 1 on the list, was a teenager, aged 19, 180 million euros. So he's the top, and Euro's the number 10. So you're working between 180 million for Mbappe at the top and Lenny Yoro at number 10 for 62. So that's your range.
62 is the range. Because I was just about to say, I wonder whether Wayne Rooney's on the list because he was obviously quite expensive and he was a teenager. So I'm going to go logically here. And I'm going to go for João Felix. He was definitely young when he left from Benfica. And he was fucking a lot of money.
João Felix is a good shout because he is number 3 on the list, age 19, moving for 127 million euros from Benfica to Atletico Madrid. Number 3. Good shout.
Jude.
Hey Jude.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham. Which move? I assume you're going with Real Madrid.
Yes, yeah, of course, yeah.
Number 4 on the list, 120 million euros from Dortmund to Real Madrid.
You say João Felix was number 3 on the list?
Yes.
Okay, let me come back to that one.
100. Sorry, what did I say? 103 million. Sorry, was Boot Bellingham. In case I said that feed wrong. So you got
Caicedo.
Mbappe 1, Felix 3, Bellingham.
Was Caicedo
is not on my list.
Was he not a teenager?
He must not have been. No, he must not have been.
Right, I don't know who 2 is yet. Let me have a little think. We'll go a bit lower. Maybe we're trying to. De Ligt went to Bayern Munich. He was quite expensive.
Matthias de Ligt, the age of 19, did move, but not to Bayern Munich. But I will give you the point because he was 19, moving from Ajax to Juventus.
Yeah, sorry.
For a fee of 85 million euros. I didn't know so much.
Yeah, he's probably going to be one of those players that's going to be having the most fees. Yeah,
with Robbie Keane and Romelu Lukaku.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. So this is probably where I'm starting to struggle now. So Caicedo isn't, but the other chap, Lavia from Southampton to Chelsea, he would have been involved, surely.
Romeo Lavia was 19 when he moved from Southampton to Chelsea for a fee of 62.1 million euros. Yeah. Just a little bit more than Lenny Euro. Just put some number 9 on the list. Shout.
Okay. Right, I am probably going to say I'm struggling now to think of players.
So Mbappe number 1, Felix was number 3, Bellingham number 4, De Ligt number 5, Lavia 9, and Euro 10. So you then have 1, 2, 3, 4 left. I can start throwing you some nationalities.
Okay.
Or I can give you the selling club, or I can give you the buying club, or the year.
I'm assuming there's going to be some proper old ones as well, you know. City have just.
I wouldn't say proper old, but there's one or two there.
City have just gone 1-0 up against Chelsea after 3 minutes. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna have to help me out a little bit.
The oldest one on the list here was in the 2015-2016 season, and it's an English player.
Sterling wasn't.
Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, was he? He was older, wasn't he?
This is when he moved from Liverpool to Man City.
Yeah,
I have him on my list at 63.7 million.
Okay.
Gets you in, gets in the point. Number 8 on the list.
Okay. Oh, I've just thought of number 2. Ousmane Dembele to Barcelona. Was he?
Ousmane Dembele is a great shout, moving from Dortmund to Barcelona, 135 million euros. He is number 2 on the list. Huge fee at the time as well, 2017, 2018.
He hasn't really cut it either, has he?
I wouldn't say, I mean, probably not when you look at some of the other players.
There's actually probably not many of these players that have cut it, really.
I mean, to be fair, Dembele has played at Dortmund, Barcelona, and PSG in France and won probably World Cups and Euros. So he's not doing too bad.
I mean, he's probably won more than I have. So, I mean.
Yeah, just about. So you got 2 left.
Okay,
number 6 and number 7.
I can't remember how old this geezer was. City have just gone 2-0 up, by the way, after 4 minutes. against Chelsea in America. It's the game on before the United game, so I've just got it on. Sorry, that's what I'm distracted on that screen because I just keep seeing goal Haaland with a Chelsea mistake, and it just is a repeat. Oh, it's Caicedo that made a mistake. So
Chief,
I've got a couple of guesses, and these might be wrong, but I'm just trying to spitball ideas and kind of work out where we're at. I'm thinking United striker, young, talented, burst on the scene. Anthony Martial. He was a lot. I think he was 52 million, 53 million pounds. So I don't know what that converts because it'll be 50 million down the drain. Tony Martial scores
it's
again.
A pretty good shout for Anthony Martial moving from Monaco to Man United. The fee was 60 million euros. He's number 11 of this list, just outside the top 10.
Okay. Well,
I can tell you, however, that there's another player here who did move to Manchester United that is in the top 10.
Oh, Rasmus Højlund. Fucking hell.
Rasmus Højlund. Okay. 73.9 million euros from Atalanta BC is correct. Number 6 on the list.
As I'm very conscious you've got to go to bed. Can we have, can I do a quick fire round?
Yes, just start your names.
I'm going to name 3 players to you.
Okay.
Vinicius Jr., Endrick, and the one that plays on the right, Rodrigo.
I'm going to give you a quick fire response.
No.
14, 15, and 16 on the list.
No.
Yeah, Endrick is on in at number 14, 47. Rodrigo 15 for 45 million euros, and Vinicius 16, 45 million euros.
Okay. So you're saying there's not much that older, is there?
So the one that's remained, you've got one left on the list, and it's from the 2018-2019 season, where he moved from the Bundesliga to the Premier League.
Okay, that scraps what my idea was.
I was just about to tell you also.
Was it Onana who's just gone to thingy? Villa.
He's number 21 on the list for his move to Everton originally.
Oh, so he's not a teenager anymore.
Not anymore, no. So you've got a player who moved to the Premier League from the Bundesliga, and he's not European.
South American.
You've got a player on the list who moved from Bundesliga to the Premier League who is not European or South American.
Christian Pulisic.
Christian Pulisic, because I want to go to bed. 64 million.
Because I'm so good at the quiz.
And because he's so good at the quiz. Is a shout. 64 million puts him number 7 on that list.
Wow.
Another big fee as well. Crazy.
Yeah, no.
And that is your top 10 teenagers moving for big monies.
I think that those records will be broken very soon. I really do.
I would imagine so.
I'm about to spend 96 million on a 19-year-old. Anyway, that definitely does bring episode 364 to a close. You can find the links for each of us in the podcast description or by visiting 5starpotential.com, where you can find all of our latest Football Manager content. You can also find all of the links that we discussed earlier in the pod down below. Feel free to go and check them all out. 5-Star Potential is available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, most of our popular podcast apps and platforms. We have a new podcast release every single week. Thank you all for listening. There'll be more from us, probably just me and Madd. Next week, say goodbye, Madd.
Goodbye, Madd.
Hour on the dot. Good night.
Bosh.